So this video will demonstrate why women become clinically obsessed when you ignore them and go ghost. All right, especially if they try to friend zone you, especially if you're sensing that they're being inconsistent, if you're sensing that they're pulling away. Sometimes the solution isn't to do more. The solution sometimes is just to go ghost and go silent and disappear on them, right? And the reason why is because women also have egos. Okay, and they may not be coming back to you because they love you inherently. It's because a lot of the times it's all because of ego. And sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference between liking you or the fact that I have a bruised ego. So this lady will give you guys a story of how a guy disappeared on her and how that was the one thing that got her chasing. All right. Now the key to this is one, yes, I'm getting a lot of comments from you guys, and you guys are saying, what if I'm ugly? Okay, so to all the ugly motherfuckers out there, you could hit above your weight. We talk about this. The only way that you could get a woman that's way better looking than you is one, have a position of power, or two, find a way to see them every day consistently to the point that they get used to seeing your face. Once they get used to seeing your face, they stop judging how ugly you are and they start judging you based on your character. I know I sound mean, but it's actually kind of true. Like that's why when you see like a fucking 300-pound gorilla with a beautiful woman, I could promise you that dude found a way to see her every day, and over time he grew into her, no pun intended, right? She got used to him. That's how you actually do it. But if you're an ugly person, right, or if what you got to do is actually wait. Good looking motherfuckers can get it fast, right? But you know what, the hot girls, a lot of the times when they end up getting married, they don't get married with Chad. They get married with average to above average guys in their 30s. Like it kind of makes sense, right? So there's still hope for a lot of people, all right? So let's begin with this video. And if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to Mindful Attraction. I can help you on the phone. I can help you set up a social life to improve your dating life. I mean, look, I even have photos of me applying the strategies that I teach, right? I have like, a pretty decent social life, and you can meet people that way and you guys can learn it. So just book a phone call or purchase my courses, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. Okay. So let's begin with the video because this is actually, just make sure to ignore the goofiness of this woman because she's goofy.
Buy flowers and ask, which is actually funny. I put up a video about this because when the flowers came in, he actually thought that they were dead because he hadn't bought flowers like online ever, and they showed up and they hadn't bloomed yet. So he was like, I need to order you more. And I was like, no, they just haven't bloomed. But some of y'all asked for a story time on like how I met him, etc. I actually met him on Hinge a year and a half ago. And it was one of those first dates that I like wasn't planned for it all. I didn't like dress up, didn't get ready for, etc. I like went straight from work and met him for a happy hour drink. What I've realized in retrospect is that when I met him, I was still in my fuck girl stage. Like I thought I was ready to meet somebody until the universe tested me and was like, okay, here is somebody. So we dated non-exclusively for like 3.5 months. And then I ended things with him. And I was like, but I would still love to be friends with you because you're a wonderful person. And he was like, yeah, I don't want to be friends with you. I was like, I really liked you. And like, that really hurt and sucked. And he like distanced himself and like unfollowed me on Instagram. And then like 6 months later, my friend ran into him at a bar and she was like, oh, how have you been? And she told me, this was like this past June. And I was like, oh, I wonder if he'd like want to be friends now. Like he was such a good guy. And so I reached out to him drunk one night and was like, hey, want to grab a drink? And he like, didn't respond for 2 weeks. And then he was like, sorry, I've been out of town. And he was like, yeah. And then I blew him off and then he blew him off. And it was like, blah, blah, blah. But then it was my birthday and I was having a big party. And so I invited him to the party. And so that was the first time I'd seen him in like 6 or 7 months. And he came. After that, we started going on dates again. So circa last July, again, non-exclusively. And then that just continued to progress. And then he's the guy who came with me to Crenshaw to recover my phone. People started being like, well, what are you doing? Why aren't you dating this guy? Like, he's there for you. And about 2 weeks before Christmas, he was like, I'm not talking to anybody else. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, okay, we can do this, but like, you have to ask. Like, if we're going to do it, let's do it. Because until then, I'm still single. And then he asked, like almost exactly a week ago. And the cutest part is I was like, so, like, have you told your friends? And he was like, told them what? And I was like, told him that you're not single anymore. And he was like, Eve, you may have been single, but I haven't been single for a while. So anyways, that's the story of how I met my boyfriend and how Hinge.
So one of the things, let's go back to it and listen to it because there's a lot of things
when the flowers came in, he actually thought
that you guys can learn from. Okay, let's listen to this.
They were dead because he hadn't bought and wasn't planned.
By the way, this is a type of woman that dates around a lot, and it's really difficult to keep her interested. Not because how valued she is, but because a lot of people just are afraid of commitment, and it has nothing to do with you, right? Especially if you live in a big city, so you're gonna encounter a lot of women who like you most likely you are attractive to, but they're just not, and I'll be honest, capable of liking someone long term, right? So how he did is actually kind of interesting because when she wanted to just be friends and friend zone him, what did he do? He said no to the friend zone. First things first, never, and I mean never, accept the friend zone. Never accept halfway measures. Never accept less than what you feel like you want. For the simple being that she's aware of it, and then you are with a woman that you like, but now you can't do nothing about it. So what did he do? He followed her and completely stopped seeing her. And what that does to a woman is the following. Listen to this.
For it all. I didn't like dress up, didn't get ready for it, etc. I like went straight from work and met him for a happy hour drink. What I've realized in retrospect is that
First of all, if a girl does that to me, I'm gonna make sure I take a long time to call you back because a woman did that, and what that meant was that she just wasn't interested in me. Like that's what that meant. It was she just wasn't interested, and she didn't take dating seriously, and that's why she dressed so haphazardly, right? And when you see that in someone, I always tell guys, whenever you see that, don't entertain it. Walk away, find somebody else. For the simple fact that this woman eventually she's gonna pull away because whenever you go out with someone and they don't put effort into dressing good, that tells you because naturally when you meet someone and you like them, you feel insecure. Insecure how? You tell yourself, I hope they like me. So you go above and beyond dressing nice. Whenever you get that woman who dresses like she just got out of bed, what that says she doesn't care to impress you. And with that woman, I would advise to put less effort, not to put effort, but to put less effort. Why? Because she's gonna sense it. She's gonna sense it because she knows what effort looks like from average guys.
when I met him, I was still in my fuck girl stage. Like, I thought I was ready to meet somebody until the universe tested me and was like, okay, here is somebody. So we dated non exclusively for like 3.5 months. And then I ended things with him. And I was like, but I would still love
Right? She ended things, meaning that she likes him. She has a great time, but she doesn't want intimacy. You see what I'm saying? And the way you combat that is
to be friends with you because you're a wonderful person. And he was like, yeah, I don't want to be friends with you. It was like, I really liked you. And like, that really hurt inside.
right. I really liked you. A lot of guys, when they get dumped, they'll be like, "Fuck you! I didn't want you anyways." It's very important to actually let the woman know, "Oh, you know what? I really liked you, but it's such a shame because what you don't understand is that most people nowadays are afraid to tell people that they like each other. Back then, it was cool to keep whether or not you like someone to yourself. Telling a woman that while you're getting rejected, I am telling you, saying, "Oh fuck, I like you, man. That's such a shame." All right, I understand it, but then you block and fucking unfollow. It's a mixed signal. You're telling her, "Hey, I like you a lot, but you're not gonna be in my life." And what that says is that only people who have good emotional lives can balance those two things. I like you and I want you, but you're not going to be in my life. And to a woman that says, okay, this guy's unfuckable. You can't fuck with him. Right? You can't fuck with him. Like he could like you, but he's also able to leave. To a woman, that comes across as a person that deserves and demands respect.
And he like distanced himself and like unfollowed me on Instagram. And then like 6 months later, my
Unfollow me, meaning she's checked it. I can promise you, it hurt her feelings. In her mind, he was a person who one day in the future I should see.
my friend ran into him at a bar and she was like, oh, how have you been? And she told me this is like this past June. And I was like, oh, I wonder if he'd like want to be friends now. He was such a good guy. And so I reached out to him drunk one night and was like, hey, want to grab a
Drunk, meaning that again, she's an avoidant, and the only way she could express how she feels is through drinking and that kind of stuff, right? So you'll notice that when you use these strategies, the women that liked you but just are afraid of intimacy, they'll message you later in the night, if you know what I mean. Right? They'll message you when they're drinking, when they're out with friends, when they feel less inhibited.
drink. And he didn't respond for 2 weeks. And then he
Right? So even when she came back to him, he didn't respond instantly. He created space. I promise you, to a woman like that, it hurts her ego. It hurts her ego because she knew he liked her, and now he doesn't. So in her mind, it feels like, okay, now I gotta work to build this up because I was the one that ended it. And he did the right thing by walking away from me. What can I do?
He was like, sorry, I've been out of town. And he was like, yeah. And then I blew him off and then he blew him off and it was like, blah, blah, blah. But then it was my birthday and I was having a big party. And so I invited him to the party. And so that was the first time I'd seen him in like,
I promise you, she double texted him. I can promise you, right? And she invited him for her birthday. You see, women like that, they want the ones that don't want them back. They want the ones that push them away. If he was the one pursuing her because of the avoidant nature of her attachment style, that would have actually gotten her scared. And it would have caused her to actually find someone who doesn't want her. Why? Because naturally humans want to validate what they feel about themselves. If I don't love myself, I'm going to find someone who doesn't love me as well. Or better yet, I'm going to be attracted to those who don't want me. That's just how that is. Right? The less self-love somebody have, the more these strategies work on them. But if they have good self-esteem, they were raised with good parents. If you try to act cold, they're not gonna accept that because that's not how they see themselves. They love themselves, so they're attracted to those that are consistent. She is attracted to she, consistent guys. To this woman is you look like nerds. Consistent guys to her is a big no-no because they look like dweebs. She wants the bad boy, the inconsistent motherfuckers.
6 or 7 months. And he came. After that, we started going on dates again. So circa last July, again, non-exclusively. And then that just continued to progress. And then he's the guy who came with me to Crenshaw to recover my phone. People started being like, well, what are you doing? Why aren't you dating this guy? Like, he's there for you. And about 2 weeks before Christmas, he was like, I'm not talking to anybody else.
By the way, Christmas and the holidays is when people get into relationships. And actually, it's when people break up or get into relationships, right? So if you're dating someone and Christmas is coming, shit's about to turn. You're either going to break up with them or the relationship is going to get more serious.
Like, what are you doing? And I was like, okay, we can do this, but like, you have to ask. Like, if we're going to do it, let's do it. Because until then, I'm still single. And then he asked, like, almost exactly a week ago. And the cutest part is, I was like, so, like, have you told your friends? And he was like, told them what? And I was like, told him that you're not single anymore. And he was like, Eve, you may have.
This woman is just an avoidant. I can promise you, she'll cheat. I know. Like I've seen plenty like this. She'll cheat, for the simple fact that she likes the newness. It's a habit that's very difficult to break. She's always been single. Like she even says it. So you gotta judge a person's character by their history, and who they are slips out if you actually pay attention to them. But as you can see, you could spark a woman's interest by just by being distant when she's not giving you what you want. Going cold, being cold, completely cutting her off, and going no contact will create desire in a woman like this. And I say in a woman like this because this doesn't work on every woman. For example, if she's very conservative and she wants a relationship and marriage, doing this strategy is not going to work. If she'll find it disrespectful, I'm telling you, it's not going to work. Don't only do this shit in Bushwick in Brooklyn, all right? Right? Or LA or Seattle. Don't do that shit in fucking Texas. All right. So she'll walk away. Anyways, by the way, guys, we're gonna be doing meditation classes in New York City if you guys want to join, because meditation allows you to be more present and it emanates masculinity when a man does it. When a woman does it, it emanates femininity. So if you guys want to meditate together, you guys can either join my Zoom meditation group by becoming a Patreon member, purchase my course Emotional Mastery, and yeah. Anyways, man, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.
All right, guys, we're going to have a brief intermission so that I could tell you guys about our new bundle that we're doing where you guys can purchase all of my courses and get it at a discount. So this bundle is pretty much the bundle where you could just buy all of my courses. You could buy Nice Guy, which is a training course on how to come across more assertive, how to come across more confident, how to not give off nice guy vibes. You guys can get access to Dark Game, which is my folk dating course on how to meet women in different scenarios, how to attract women, how to make sure you don't come across as creepy, and essentially how to act like a man and not act like a doofus, to be quite honest with you. And you get all of these bonuses, which is the bonuses of Dark Game, the bonuses of Practical Mastery, which is about how to master a skill, Social Mastery, which is how to master your social life, and the Laws of Human Nature, which is a book club videos that I had dissecting Robert Greene's book. All of this is naturally at around 238 200 no naturally is at $346, but you guys can purchase this bundle and get it at what's the price again? Get it at 238 pretty much. So you guys can purchase it right now. It's a money back 30-day money back guarantee. It's a good way to, rather than just buying them individually and paying extra, you guys can just purchase everything at a discount price. Now, the only thing I don't like is the fact that I'm giving you a lot of information at the same time. That makes me kind of scared, because a lot of times people don't do the things that I teach when you get too much information. But I've gotten too many requests to do this, so I'm just satisfying you guys. Purchase it right now by clicking on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle. All right, let's continue with the video.